Well, good morning or day, wherever it is you are, what time it is. Well, welcome to the the Solitude transcription for today. We're working on page 27. So I've just completed the actual mainline text is only 2 lines just above there. And it's not even a complete, it's the middle of a sentence. The pleasures and comforts of society in the vain hope of being able to gratify his discontented mind. We're not even getting a full sentence here. The rest is the continuation of the subtext from the previous page. So let's go ahead and begin on that. Let's listen to something this morning. I did get something yesterday. I just didn't get time to load it in. This is a phone call just ahead of death. Let's begin that, and then we'll continue typing.
I don't care what the prognosis of my, what is it? Salesman, insurance salesman. They have figured it out. They've got the angle. Actuarial chart. I think that's what it is. Doesn't care what it is. Feel that time passing. It's going. And I know that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy to say things like this. It's danger to my own welfare. Who gives a damn? It's a reality of mortality that each of us engenders in our very mortal being. Mortal being even contains our the idea is all wrapped up in it. And never you mind me. I'm just an individual. It's a larger picture that's not important. Just what is, I have no idea. It'll burn up, it'll entropy down. I must be missing something, clearly. And no, I don't think it's that. Whatever that is you're thinking. I don't think any of us quite got the handle. But and I often am gravely wrong. I'll watch this waterfall for a second. The life just swooping about life. It wasn't here last year when I walked past here. The same spot life. It won't be here next year. When I walk past this same spot, if I walk past this same spot, if I ever make it again. The reason being the driving under. Closing in on 50, and even that's not old. Friggin' pisses me off to seemingly wasted so many years. And it seemed like the years went on forever. And then to the squandering yet idle. Being pissed off and upset at myself and self-absorbed and wishing I could be a better one. Stop thinking so much or worrying so much about me and use the examples of those who are so much better than me. Would that I could emulate the saints, but I imagine that the big difference there is that the saints never wished that they could emulate the saints. I'll just walk on until this road comes to an end. Or shall I? I'm done.
Let's see. Now that was, I tell you, if you've ever wondered what was going on in my mind, not that anybody ever would care, but when I was during those softypapa years in Japan, when I was alone in the woods, quite sober, that's pretty much what was going on in my head. That kind of stream of consciousness right there. Euripides. I think that's Euripides. Yes, Euripides sent a copy to Socrates. Now, there's a couple of interesting things in that dialogue that, hindsight l- looking back, who, comma, on, namely I was early on. I was starting to see some of the emptiness that I now call the great indifference. I'm going to play it again. Because it maybe help me finish this sentence. Here we go.
I don't care what the prognosis of my what is it called? Salesman, insurance salesman. They have figured it out. They've got the angle, actuarial chart. I think that's what it is. Doesn't care what it is. Feel that time passing. It's going. And I know that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy to say things like this. That it's danger to my own welfare. Who gives a damn? It's a reality of mortality that each of us engenders in our very mortal being. Mortal being even contains the idea is all wrapped up in it. And never you mind me. I'm just an individual. It's a larger picture that's not important. Just what is, I have no idea. It'll burn up and eventually down. I must be missing something, clearly. And no, I don't think it's that. Whatever that is you're thinking. I don't think any of us quite got the handle. But could, and I often am gravely wrong. I'll watch this waterfall for a second. The life just swooping about life. It wasn't here last year when I walked past here. The same spot life. It won't be here next year. When I walk past this same spot, if I walk past this same spot, if I ever make it again. The reason being, the driving under, closing in on 50, and even that's not old. Friggin' pisses me off to seemingly wasted so many years, and it seemed like the years went on forever, and then to be squandering yet in idle, being pissed off and upset at myself and self-absorbed and wishing I could be a better one. Stop thinking so much or worrying so much about me and use the examples of those who are so much better than me. Would that I could emulate the saints, but I imagine that the big difference there is that the saints never wished that they could emulate the saints. I'll just walk on until this road comes to an end. Or shall I? I'm done.
Well, that was a neat sentence. Beasts of the field with this, upon the scanty herbage of the earth. Almost got it here. Hey, Erica. Good morning. Erica. Good morning.
Oh, good morning.
How you doing this morning?
All right. Hello, everybody. Well, hello, not so much Des.
Oh, is he? Oh, there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Happy Monday, he says. Hi, and Reese. Reese is here too. Oh,
Oh, hello, Reese.
I've almost made it to the bottom of the page. This is a long. This is a long one. Having,
Okay.
however, by his mode of living, contracted a dropsy. Once more. Woo! Hit it. Okay, let's see. So, just to, if you're curious, the music that we were just listening to there, that was a true snippet of stream of consciousness from probably about 2012. And that was I was on a particular hike, and if you've ever wondered what's going on in my mind when I was hiking in the mountains of Japan, that was it, and that continues pretty much to this day. What's interesting to me to observe is that in that section, I actually call out the emptiness that I later identified as the great indifference in the book Going Alone. And that calling out, I didn't know what the hell it was, and I was pissed off, and I was wondering what it was. And it's interesting to look back at it now and see that I was, because it's like a forecast of what was going to come later when I wrote Going Alone, when I came to the desert and discovered. So a lot of nonsense in that piece of music, lot of just me spewing stuff out, but also interesting to see how the mind can kind of muse over ideas that later come to fruition. So that's what that was.
Oh, all right.
So how you doing this morning, Erica? Is your day off to a good start?
Yeah, yes. And I wouldn't call your music nonsense. It's really interesting.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's see if we can dive into this thing and figure this out. So I'm never mind that first that half sentence of mainline text. That won't probably make any sense until tomorrow, until we can see see how it ends. So we won't even worry about that one. We got plenty to work on here with this stuff. Let me take this a little bigger. Let's see if we can read this. Okay. Now remember, this is carrying over from yesterday. So this part as well. So here we'll begin here. Heraclides, the celebrated Grecian philosopher, was a native of Ephesus and flourished about 500 years before the Christian era. His melancholy and dejected mind forced him incessantly to lament and frequently to weep over the miseries and depravity of human nature. Remember, we met him yesterday. We learned that he was kind of a sullen philosopher that kind of gained that reputation. This disposition, which he indulged to a ridiculous joined to an enigmatical manner of expressing himself, procured him the appellation, the obscure and crying philosopher. So that gained him this title here, the obscure and crying philosopher. Interesting. What is a man? What is man? He exclaimed. What his bloated reason? His knowledge is mere ignorance. His grandeur, littleness. His strength, weakness. And his joy, grief. So there's a little sample of what Heraclitus might say. What is, once more, what is man? What his bloated reason? His knowledge is mere ignorance. His grandeur, littleness. His strength, weakness. And his joy, grief. Okay. Yeah, I could see how that would classify him as the obscure and crying philosopher. But notwithstanding this opinion, Let's see, let's grab this whole sentence. But notwithstanding this opinion, he maintained that life was the gift of the great Creator, that it ought to be preserved with the greatest anxiety and care, that it cannot be disposed of at the caprice of its owner, and that man must wait and patiently inquire all the ills that flesh is heir to, until it shall please the Almighty to call him to the great account for all his actions. Isn't that so similar to how the Christian perspective, even though that is quite not Christian? I was a little bit suspicious of that one piece there. Greatest anxiety and care, it cannot be disposed to the caprice of its owner, and that man must wait and patiently inquire all the ills that flesh is heir to. Is that right? Did I transcribe that correctly? Inquire. Here it is. And patiently inquire all the ills that flesh is heir to. I did get that right. So life is precious. We have to bear whatever disease or problems come our way and wait patiently for death and our accounting with God. Heraclitus composed many excellent works, particularly a treatise upon the elements of nature. Of this work, Euripides sent a copy to Socrates, who, on returning it, observed that those parts which he was capable of comprehending were excellent, and that he had no doubt that those which were above his, not he, comprehension were equally good. So that's interesting that Socrates was like, there's parts of what this guy's saying I don't get. There's Darius. Darius, the king of Persia, on perusing this production, wrote a highly complimentary letter to the author and pressed him in the warmest manner to visit the Persian court, where his merits and abilities would be better understood and received than they had been in Greece. But the sullen and austere philosopher sturdily rejected all the elegant and polite overtures of the monarch. There's a word I don't know. Acerbity. Let's look that up. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Acerbity.
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 Acerbity. Sharpness and directness of speech. That's interesting. It is said that the acerbity of his temper was increased to such a degree by his occasional intercourse with mankind, that he at length conceived an unalterable antipathy of the species and retired to the cheerless and inhospitable mountain, where he lived for many years, not years, but years. In common with the beasts, not the bests. There we go. In common with the beasts of the field, upon the scarcity of herbage of the earth. So that's interesting. So many of these philosophers and holy men seem to take that route, right? They get so fed up with mankind that they retreat away. Now, what is a dropsy? I've heard that word before. I've even looked it up before, but I can't remember what it is. Kind of like a little illness.
Dropsy.
Edema. Isn't that edema? Isn't edema like a lack of iron in the blood or something? No,
Edema.
a condition characterized by an excess of watery fluid collecting in the cavities or tissues of the body. So edemia is dropsy, which is okay. Good. I wonder how they diagnosed that way back then. However, by this mode of living contracted a dropsy, he once more descended into the neighboring cities and consulted the faculty in his enigmatical way respecting the cure of his distemper, by inquiring whether their art enabled. And it goes on to the next damn page. That's a long subtext. Why is there a red line under this neighboring? Did I spell it wrong? I did. Okay, I think we got it, Erica. Hot dog. One more page in the book. I think you're muted if you're talking.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
But really that fast?
What? Yeah. Well, I got started early, so I finished my Good Life meditation about 5 minutes early this morning, so I was able to start this up sooner.
Okay, that's great. I meant about the book. We're nearly finished.
Oh no! This is page 27, and this book has.
Silly me.
About 400 pages.
We could do it.
Yeah, definitely. If we do one a day, it should take us about maybe 15 months.
At least we'll start in the new year.
That's right. Good. So good. That was a good accomplishment. So, what's in store for you for today? What are your plans?
I have a Zoom meeting, like at 11, and during the week I'll be like kind of busy. I'm like planning a little get together
Nice.
pretty soon, and a lot of things will keep me like at bay because I'll be having guests over.
Oh, nice. Wow. Well, it is the time of the year for getting together with people. That's nice.
Yes, and your tree looks so elegant, and Yumiko-san was pretty clever.
Was she?
Yeah.
Actually, Emily did everything. Almost everything. Yumiko said that she just sat back and watched.
Oh. Okay. Well, but I noticed that Yumiko-san put her first initial on the fireplace, and I thought it was so clever.
Actually, that's the last letter of the word joy. So I cut it off on the photo. So if the photo had been a little bit larger, you would have seen a J and an O next to it.
But that's so clever but that's overall clever.
She's a clever woman.
Well, I'm gonna try to look up that. I'm gonna try to look a dropsy, like how it was diagnosed back then.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Because I'm curious too.
Yeah. That'd be neat to find out.
Yeah, because wasn't this book published in the 1800s?
1799.
Oh, 1799.
Yeah, almost.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. I think it was written 20 or 30 years before that, and before it was published. And then it was first published, I think, in Sweden, or Switzerland, and then in the UK.
Well, because I don't think diseases were known back then either. I believe so.
You don't think they were known back then?
Not really.
They had a name. They were writing about it in the book.
I see.
So least they were calling something dropsy.
Mm-hmm. But that's unfortunate if anyone had to suffer through that.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
definitely.
So, how about your week and how about your day? Are you?
So yeah, thank you for asking. My plan is in a few minutes I'm going to take the dogs out for their morning walk. Then I'll have some breakfast and then get started at work at 7 a.m. And then today I'm planning to take more control of some of the new projects that I'm going to be running, and have a meeting with my boss to try to get permission to begin taking over the meetings for those projects, and then just continue marching forward through the week in the new job. That's my plan.
That's wonderful. I'm pretty sure you have a good relationship with your boss like you did in Japan.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, he's a good guy.
That's good. And also, I think he should applaud you, and in the upcoming months, he should um give you a raise, or maybe like want you as an employee of the month because you're a pretty diligent worker.
Well, thank you. That would be awesome if either of those things happened. I appreciate your kind observation, Erica.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I see Rudy sleeping.
Yeah, he's there. He's there sleeping. Oh, Ollie's still in bed with Yumiko, so
Oh.
I'll have to drag Ollie out. He doesn't like to come out from under the covers, but but Rudy came and joined me, and
Yeah.
it's getting colder here as it is. I'm sure where you are too. So
Oh
the
yeah.
dogs more and more don't want to go out in the morning, but they got to go out.
Yeah.
Emily went and bought him some sweaters, so
Oh.
I'll put the little sweaters on him and take him out.
Hmm. Well, but Emily did a really good job on the tree, though.
I was just blown away. That was elegant. That was really
Mhm.
a really nice tree. I was so impressed.
Yes, and I hope her job went well.
I haven't had a chance to talk to her. She had it on Saturday, and she worked last night too. And I only briefly saw her in passing yesterday. She drove by and I waved at her.
Oh.
So I haven't had a chance to catch up with her. She tends to sleep in. I get up really early every morning. She sleeps in. She's a night owl. I'm a morning owl, and so we haven't run into each other. Hopefully, she's liking the new job. She said that she thought it was going to be a fun position.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we'll find out. I'm sure I'll get a chance to talk to her over dinner tonight. She was working last night. That's why she didn't have dinner with us. She was actually working last night.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Good. Well, good. Well, we got our week ahead of us, and we had a good weekend behind us, and the holidays coming up, and I guess we can both do whatever we can to make it good, right?
Yes, because compared to last year, even though last year was a little gloomy for all of us.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah. 2021 was definitely a year to get past.
Yes.
Let's hope for better things in 2022.
Yes, and I was staying at a hotel most of the time because it was mandatory.
Oh, really? Wow. No. Okay. Wow.
So it was something different. But I tried to make my stay the most of it, and of course treat the employees with utter kindness and respect because they work so hard.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do.
And it was sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask if there was anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap up. We're closing in on the bottom of the hour.
Um, I think I'm good. I wish everyone a good week, and I wish you a good week and really good work day, and I hope not so much Des and Reese have a nice week without any hardships as well.
All right. I noticed I missed a question from Not That Much As. He's left, but he said, "What chapter is it?" This is the introduction, and then hi, and he says hi to you, and then he says, "Next meeting starting soon. Have a good week, everyone." So off he goes to work.
You too.
Likewise, let's begin our day. All right, Erica, you have a good one.
You too.
Okay, take care.
You too. Bye, everybody.